A beautiful Saturday morning to our audience and wherever you are joining us from. This is your weekly news roundup on Atlantic TV with me, Omar Tal. We begin in where Her Excellency the First Lady hosts the Mark Foundation for Africa Luminary Conference attended by 5 First Ladies from sub-region under the patronage of Her Excellency Fatuma Barrow. United Movement for Change has taken a significant step toward strengthening its grassroots presence in the Gambia. The movement on Tuesday presented 8 brand new motor bicycles to its regional representative at a ceremony held at its headquarters in Fajara. On the international scene, if they don't disarm, we will disarm them, perhaps violently. That was President Trump's warning to Hamas at the White House after militants refused to obey the second phase of the ceasefire. Kenya's opposition politician who ran for president 5 times and served as prime minister, Raila Odinga, has died of heart attack in India at age 80. Cameroon's minister dismisses opposition's victory announcement made over the weekend. Atanji Nji has rejected opposition candidate Issa Kiroma Bakari's claim of victory, accused him of electoral disruptions. Madagascar's military has seized control of the country, removing President Andry Rajoelina from power after weeks of youth-led protests and a parliamentary impeachment. These are the news in summary. We now bring you in detail. Delivering a moving keynote at the opening of the 12th Mark Foundation Africa Asia Luminary, the First Lady Fatuma Barrow has called on world leaders, healthcare professionals, and the media to work building a stronger health system, empowering women, and promoting responsible journalism across the continent. The First Lady emphasized that health is not merely the absence of illness, but the presence of opportunity and dignity for all, underscoring her vision for a healthier and more inclusive Africa. Let's hear more from Her Excellency Fatuma Barrow.
Let me begin by warmly welcoming my sisters, First Ladies, the Mark Foundation team, and all esteemed guests to the Gambia, the smiling coast of Africa, and also the land of Kunta Kinte. Today, as we convey for the 12th edition of Africa Asia Luminary, we gather as sisters, advocates, and champions of progress. Together, we will reflect on our shared commitment to strengthening health systems, building the capacity of our healthcare professionals, promoting responsible journalism, and supporting the next generation of African leaders and caregivers. Sisterhood in the trusted sense is rooted in love, support, unity, and mutual respect. As First Ladies, we are not only symbolic figures, we are mothers, caregivers, and servants with a unique platform to uplift the voices of the vulnerable and marginalized, ensuring that no one is left behind. When we talk about health, we are talking about the most fundamental human right, the right to life, dignity, and well-being. Health is not just merely the absence of illness, but the presence of opportunity, the chance for every individual to live a full, productive, and dignified life. This is why strategic partners like the one we share with the Mark Foundation are so crucial. Our collaboration had played a pivotal role in advancing the healthcare in the Gambia and across Africa. Today, we have made strides in empowering health professionals through specialized training, ensuring they are better equipped to deliver quality care to those who need it most. About 100 Gambian doctors have been provided scholarships over the years to strengthen our public healthcare sector and building a stronger medical workforce for the future.
That was Her Excellency Fatuma Barrow speaking at the 12th Mark Foundation ceremony at Sadara Keraba Conference Center. The spokesperson for the United Movement for Change, Chemo Bojang, has highlighted the importance of empowering regional structures, given the deliberation at a ceremony in Fajara where the movement has distributed 8 motorcycles to the regional representative to travel extensively in an effort to promote national unity and grassroots engagement. Let's hear more from Chemo.
Relies on our leaders in the region Gambians from all walks of life and from all areas in the country have reached out to us asking what are the ways they could register to the movement, especially up-country, considering that technology, or let's say internet, is an issue, and also electricity. So connecting and being connected to the internet has been a major concern that we have had. We are taking it upon ourselves to organize ourselves, provide mobility to our leadership, around the country, to go into all of the communities, to go to the furthest of village and hand out, forms to the people. We see this movement as a people-centered movement. We see this movement as a movement of the Gambian people, and we believe, and I think Gambians deserve to be part of this movement. It is a new political trajectory. It is one that we believe will be able to usher in a new republic. It is one that we believe will be able to give us the progressive Gambia that we have all been asking for. That being the case, I welcome you all, and to the beneficiaries also. This is not a mark of, let's say, that it is a gift, but it is for service. The United Movement for Change is a movement of service to the people. These motorcycles are facilities that we have given you. We hope and pray that it will be a lasting one, that we will be able to enhance and elevate the lives of our people. Thank you very much. And to the media also, we acknowledge and we are grateful for your comments. Considering that we are still very young, we are in our infant stage. You have been always positive and you have been always there whenever we call. From our first meeting at the Ebujan Theatre to all of the other activities that we have done, you have always been there with us. We say a big thank you, and we hope it's the beginning of a great relationship, because it is your responsibility to educate and to inform people. So we hope our messages that we also give will get to the people in the furthest of villages.
That was Kemo Bodan speaking at a ceremony held at Fajara, where the movement handed over 8 motorcycles to its regional representative for grassroots engagement. This brings us to the end of the national news. We now go to the international stories, where President Donald Trump on Monday has said if Hamas don't disarm, they will be disarmed, perhaps violently. Trump emphasized the road to peace as ceasefire proposals are key to this goal. We want Hamas to give up on weapons and sacrifice they have agreed to. Now they have to do it, and if they don't, we will do it. More from ABC News in panel.
Tonight, after his groundbreaking trip to the Middle East, President Trump with a warning to Hamas, saying they must disarm as part of the next phase of his peace plan.
If they don't disarm, we will disarm them. And it'll happen quickly and perhaps violently. But they will disarm. Do you understand me?
Israel tonight accusing Hamas of violating the ceasefire deal by not releasing the remains of more hostages, threatening to cut desperately needed aid into Gaza in retaliation. Late today, Hamas releasing 4 more, but 20 are still missing. Parents like US citizen Ruby Khan waiting in agony for his son Itai.
The job is not done. There are no less hostages than the 20 that came out.
Stories of abuse and hardship now emerging from the released hostages. The family of Omri Moran telling Israeli media he counted every day he spent in captivity, at times even cooking for his captors. Omri reunited with his wife Lishai, playing with his 2 young daughters, Ronnie and Alma, just 4 and 2.
Finally, he could embrace Ronnie and Alma, he could play with them, he could feel like he's a father again.
In Gaza, some of the nearly 2,000 prisoners taken by Israel and held without charge also reporting abuse. Abdullah Fakhran detained for 20 months, saying he was told his family had been killed.
That was in panel reporting there, where Donald Trump have asked Hamas to disarm. If not, they would disarm them violently. We go to Kenya, where opposition politician Raila Odinga, a chief figure in African politics, has died at 80 during a trip to India for a medical treatment. The former prime minister, who as the opposition leader had waged 5 unsuccessful presidential elections between 1997 to 2022. Mr. Odinga had suffered a heart attack at a hospital in India. Odinga was a dominant force in Kenyan politics, and his death leaves a significant leadership vacuum within the country's political opposition ahead of 2007 presidential election. More from Al Jazeera's Catherine Soy.
Raila Odinga was an enigma in Kenya's politics. Born in 1945 into one of the country's political dynasties, he would become a revolutionary in the eyes of many. Some described him as contradictory, to others he was opportunistic. In the 1980s, Odinga was implicated alongside others in trying to overthrow the government of then-President Daniel Arap Moi, who was accused of being a dictator. In the 90s, he was among opposition leaders who fought for greater democracy, ushering in a multi-party system of governance. He ran for the presidency 5 times. After being defeated on several occasions, he claimed his vote was stolen. In 2008, Kenya faced its worst post-election violence after President Mwai Kibaki secured a second term in office. Kibaki was accused of rigging the vote, and more than 1,000 people were killed and many displaced in ethnic conflicts that broke out in some parts of the country. Odinga came in second. He believed the poll was rigged in favor of his competitor.
So they are on the person of late opposition politician in Kenya, Raila Odinga. Minister of Territorial Administration Paul Atangi warned any unauthorized release of results would be deemed high treason, saying only the Constitutional Council can declare a winner. His announcement comes after the 76-year-old opposition candidate and former government spokesperson Isa Kiroma Bakari unilaterally declared himself the winner on his Facebook wall. His campaign drew large crowds and backing from the coalition of opposition parties and civil groups. More from Africa News Report.
Cameroon's Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, has rejected opposition candidate Issa Chiroma Bakari's claim of victory and accused him of trying to disrupt the electoral process. Atanganji had warned last week that any unauthorized release of results will be deemed high treason, saying only the Constitutional Council can declare a winner. Issa Chiroma Bakari had claimed victory early Tuesday in the October 12 presidential election, urging President Paul Biya, who has been in power for over 4 decades, to concede. Chiroma, who is in his late 70s, was a government spokesperson and a Minister of Employment under Biya, but quit the government last year to launch his presidential run. His campaign drew large crowds and backing from a coalition of opposition parties and civic groups. Biya has been in power since 1982, nearly half his lifetime, making him Cameroon's second president since independence from France in 1960.
Report from Cameroon. The army in Madagascar have overthrown President Andry Rajoelina after youth-led protests and his impeachment by the parliament. There was celebration on the streets of the capital Antanana River following announcement made by the army colonel, which came almost after the parliament voted on Tuesday to impeach Rajoelina, who fled the country after soldiers joined the mass protests. More from this report.
They began with Parliament moving to impeach President Rajoel and remove him from office. But the decisive moment came when Colonel Mikhail Randrianirina, head of the elite CAPSAT military unit, announced the armed forces had seized power.
We will take power starting today and dissolve, starting today, the Senate, the High Constitutional Court, the High Court of Justice, the High Council for the Defence of Democracy and the Rule of Law, and the Independent National Electoral Commission. There you go, the National Assembly. We let it work, we continue to work, and that's it.
For weeks, young protesters, largely members of what's being called Gen Z Madagascar, have been on the streets demanding change. Their anger, a response to chronic electricity and water shortages, corruption and high unemployment. On Monday night, Rajoel made a last-ditch effort to hang on to power, addressing people on social media. A transitional council made up of officers from the military will now govern until elections are held. But that may take as long as 2 years. Many greeted the soldiers with cheers, hoping this marks a break from past failures in governance. For now, Madagascar is without a president. As night falls, senior members of the military are meeting with politicians in the building just behind me. The hopes of millions of people in Madagascar now rests on talks being held behind closed doors.
That report from Madagascar by Al Jazeera's Fahmi Mila brings us to the end of this news roundup. First, before we go, we give you the headlines. The Gambia hosts 12th edition of Mark Foundation Africa Asia Luminary Conference attended by 5 ladies from the sub-region under the patronage of Her Excellency Fatou Babao. The United Movement for Change has taken a significant step towards strengthening its grassroots presence in the Gambia. The movement on Tuesday presented 8 brand new motorcycles to its regional representative at a ceremony held at its headquarters in Fajara. If they don't disarm, we will disarm them, perhaps violently. That was President Trump's warning to Hamas at the White House after the militant refusal to obey the second phase of the ceasefire. Kenya's opposition politician who ran for president 5 times and served as Prime Minister Raila Odinga has died of heart attack in India at age 80. Cameroon's minister dismisses opposition victory announcement made over the weekend. Atanji Nji has rejected opposition candidate Isaki Roma's victory claim and accused him of electoral disruption.